Vidur's love for Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna went to the court of the Kauravas, but refused the hospitality of Duryodhan. He went to the home of Vidur, a counselor in the Kaurava court. Vidur was the only man who was neutral to both the Pandavas and Kauravas. In fact, he truly wanted Krishna to stay in his house because he loved Krishna. It is said that he was so happy that Lord Krishna was in his house that he offered him a few bananas. His love and devotion towards Lord Krishna rose to such a height that he forgot what he was doing. He offered the banana peels and threw away the fruit. Krishna smilingly accepted the peels, did not say anything and ate the peels. When Vidur realized what had happened, he wept and offered the banana fruit. Lord Krishna said, the peel was tastier than the fruit because the peel was offered with love and happiness. Vidur smiled with relief. Lord Krishna, the peace messenger. Duryodhan was upset that Krishna had refused the Kauravas' hospitality. He insisted that the Pandavas should return to another exile when Krishna asked to return the Pandavas' kingdom. All right, let 5 villages be given to the 5 Pandava brothers because they are peace-loving and want to avoid a war, said Krishna. Duryodhan did not approve and threatened to arrest Krishna. Lord Krishna said, King Dhritarashtra, I will not kill Duryodhan today as Bhima was going to do it in near future. Lord Krishna was well aware of Duryodhan and Shakuni's arrest plan, but he wanted them wishfully to realize it. Dhritarashtra and Karna advised Duryodhan not to arrest a peace messenger, but he did not listen to them. With the help of Dushasan, Duryodhan chained Krishna. However, he realized that he had chained Dushasan instead of Krishna. Then Lord Krishna appeared in his Virat roop. The whole court was terrified at this. Then he left the court. Preparations for the war. Lord Krishna knew that peace negotiations with the Kauravas would fail, in spite of Yudhishthira's wish. However, by going for the peace talks, Krishna cleverly put the ball in the Kauravas' court. If the peace talks failed, Duryodhan would be blamed for it. If they succeeded, the Pandavas would get the credit for it. With Duryodhan refusing to part with the kingdom he had taken from the Pandavas had no choice but to wage war. However, Lord Krishna made master preparations for Mahabharata war. When he was in Hastinapur for peace talks, he took Karna aside and told him about Kunti being his mother. He requested Karna to help his brothers, Pandavas, but Karna turned down his request. Lord Krishna turned to Bhishma. He knew the truth of Karna's birth and did not wish for Karna to fight against his brothers. So Bhishma insulted Karna in the war council. Karna swore not to enter the battlefield until Bhishma died. Balram opts out. Lord Krishna was fully aware of the capabilities of his army, Narayana Sena. He thought if the great Balram enters the battlefield on Duryodhan's side, the game will be over for the Pandavas. Lord Krishna convinced Balram this Mahabharata war would be filled with unfair and unjust ways. A man of your accomplishment should not taint his soul by participating in it. You should instead go on a pilgrimage. Thus, Balram opted out of the war. Duryodhan, on behalf of the Kauravas, and Arjun, on behalf of the Pandavas, went to Dwarka to seek Lord Krishna's help for the oncoming war. Lord Krishna was sleeping when Duryodhan entered his room, so he waited for Lord Krishna to wake up and sat near his head. Arjun also came, but a little later, and he sat at Lord Krishna's feet. When Lord Krishna woke up, he saw Arjun first as he was at his feet, and then Duryodhan. He heard both of them seeking his help and made a proposal. Lord Krishna's clever conditions. Lord Krishna heard Duryodhan and Arjun's plea for his help for Mahabharata war. He proposed, I will not fight in this war, but I am willing to give my mighty army, Narayani Sena. You both will have to choose between me and my army. Duryodhan chose Lord Krishna's army and Arjun chose Lord Krishna. When Duryodhan left, Krishna scolded Arjun. You are so foolish. Duryodhan cleverly took my mighty army and you are asking for me? I am going to sit idle in the war. I am as good as nothing, Arjun replied. But you are everything for me, my lord. Against the wishes of his counselors, Lord Krishna gave his army to Duryodhan. Then he promised to fight on behalf of the Pandavas, but he made it sound as innocent as possible. He said, I will only be Arjun's charioteer I will not take up arms. Duryodhan made a fatal mistake again. He underestimated Lord Krishna and agreed to his clever conditions. Duryodhan's brilliant plan. Lord Krishna is considered one of the chief masterminds of the great Kurukshetra or Mahabharat war. After he had manipulated Bhishma to insult Karna, Karna vowed not to enter the war till Bhishma died. Thus Krishna made sure that the Pandavas were free of the terror of Karna for the first few days of the war. During the war, Bhishma was appointed the commander in charge from the Kauravas side. However, Duryodhan was very angry that Bhishma had not managed to kill any Pandavas. In fact, he wanted his best friend Karna to be in charge. So, he came up with a plan. All 5 brothers are still alive even though you are in charge. You are biased towards them, he shouted at Bhishma. This hurt Bhishma and he vowed, by tomorrow evening, none of the Pandavas will be alive. If not, I will quit fighting. Thus Duryodhan's brilliant plan to get rid of Bhishma or the Pandavas worked. Lord Krishna's disguise. As per Duryodhan's plan, it was a win-win situation for him. Either the Pandavas would be eliminated for good or his dearest friend Karna would take charge of the Kaurav army. No one knew about Bhishma's vow except Lord Krishna. He explained everything to Pandava's wife Draupadi and worked out a plan with her. Krishna disguised as servant and went with Draupadi to Bhishma's tent. He had taught her exactly what to say and when. Draupadi went into the tent and Lord Krishna remained outside. Bhishma was meditating when Draupadi touched his feet and asked for blessing. Without realizing it was Draupadi, Bhishma blessed, Saubhagyavati Bhava, may you remain married throughout your life. When Bhishma opened his eyes, he was shocked. Why are you here at this late hour? Who brought you here? He asked Draupadi angrily. Poor Draupadi lied, I have come here with my servant. Immediately Bhishma guessed that was Lord Krishna's doing. Bhishma's vow averted. Bhishma ran out of his tent to meet Lord Krishna. He asked the guard about the servant. The guard proudly said, I kicked him and did not let him come in. Bhishma thought, you fool, you have no idea whom you have kicked. Seeing Lord Krishna disguised as a servant, Bhishma went to him and touched his feet. The guard was surprised at this. After they were inside the tent, Bhishma asked, Lord Krishna, why did you do this? Lord Krishna said, your vow, none of the Pandavas will be alive by tomorrow evening, has forced me to do this. This was the only way to protect the Pandavas from the great warrior Bhishma. Bhishma was amazed at this. He thought how cleverly he has avoided the biggest disaster on the Pandavas. Thus Lord Krishna, who knew the power of Bhishma's vow, came up with the only possible way to save the Pandavas. Lord Krishna influences Arjun. During the Kurukshetra war, Arjun refused to take up arms against the Kauravas. Though he was a brave warrior, yet he was confused with a moral dilemma about fighting against his own family. Arjun expressed his hesitation about fighting against the people who had raised, nurtured and taught him. He meant his grandfather Bhishma and his guru Drona. Lord Krishna said, during the great war, there will be killing and immense losses on both sides. I understand your love and respect for Bhishma and Drona. They are noble men, but they have sided with Adharma by not protesting against injustice to you, Pandavas. In a war, there are no relations, but before the war, there were relations. But Bhishma and Drona did not exercise their seniority and authority against injustice. Lord Krishna was not just Arjun's charioteer, he used his power of words to influence Arjun, who felt dejected and depressed on the battlefield. Bhagavad Gita. Seeing despondent Arjun, Lord Krishna blessed him with the divine vision to enable him see the cosmic dimension Vishwa Virat Rupa of the Lord. Lord Krishna said, Arjun, attachment to anyone is an obstruction in the path of spiritual progress. My own detachment with my parents, foster parents, brother and soulmate is an example of the philosophy of life. So I am neither a friend nor an enemy of anyone. Lord Krishna encouraged Arjun to choose a cause over concern for the members of his family. He described the threefold path to moksha, janana, karma and bhakti. Lord Krishna convinced Arjun about the importance of karma and dharma. His philosophical sermons to Arjun became the great text of Bhagavad Gita. The ultimate secret of the Bhagavad Gita is devotion and surrender. The holy text also speaks of essential food habits for a healthy body: devotion, surrender, doing duties, regardless of results. These were the keys to avoid grief and attachment. Sanjaya, the one with divine vision. The blind king Dhritarashtra was eager to know the happenings of Mahabharata war. Sanjaya was Dhritarashtra's advisor and charioteer. The great sage Vyas had granted him the divine ability of seeing events from a distance. So he narrated the daily events of the war for Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya was the first one who narrated the Bhagavad Gita other than Lord Krishna himself. The Bhagavad Gita is a discussion between Lord Krishna and Arjun. However, this discussion was repeated as a recital by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. One day, after describing the scene on the battlefield, Sanjaya told King Dhritarashtra, "I know you are hoping that the Kauravas will be victorious since they are assisted by great warriors like Bhishma, Drona and Karna. However, in my opinion, victory lies on the side where Lord Krishna is present. Victory was certain for the Pandavas because Lord Krishna was with them as Arjun's charioteer." Karna's Kavach and Kundalas. Karna was given the Kavach and Kundalas at his birth for protection by his father, the sun god. The Kavach was embedded into his chest, making it impossible to hurt him with arrows. The Kundalas protected his ears cartilage from attacks. Together they made Karna immortal, as there was no other way to kill him. Indra, the chief of gods and Arjuna's father, knew that Arjun would be in danger as long as Karna had his Kavach and Kundals. So, Indra decided to take them away and weaken Karna. He disguised as a poor Brahmin and approached Karna during his prayer time. The sun god warned Karna of Indra's intentions, but Karna did not want to send anyone from his door empty-handed. He readily gave away his Kavach and Kundals to Indra, cutting them off his body. Indra was so ashamed that he gave Karna a boon to use his most powerful weapon only once during the battle. The fall of Bhishma. Kunti went to meet Karna to reveal his true identity. However, he refused to join the Pandavas, saying, "I have already refused to Lord Krishna before. Anyway, it is too late to do that as I am close friend of Duryodhan. However, I promise you that I will not kill any of the Pandavas except Arjun." On the 10th day of the war, the Pandavas could not keep up with Bhishma. Then Krishna suggested Bhishma could lower his bow if a woman came before him. As no woman was allowed in the battlefield, Krishna asked Arjuna to keep Shikhandi in front of the chariot while fighting against Bhishma. Shikhandi was born as a woman but later became a man because of a demigod. Bhishma refused to fight against Shikhandi. Thus Arjun shot 100 arrows and pinned Bhishma down. There was no way to kill Bhishma as he had a gift of choosing the moment of his death. Chakravyuha. Drona became the chief of the Kaurav army after Bhishma. He planned a war trap called Chakravyuha and made Jayadratha the leader of it. Only Arjun knew how to break this trap, but Drona made sure that Arjun was nowhere nearby. As the Chakravyuha moved towards the Pandav army, it crushed them on its way. So, Arjun's son Abhimanyu entered it, but he did not know how to get out. He single-handed fought all the warriors. However, Duryodhan, Karna, Drona and Ashwatthama mercilessly killed brave Abhimanyu. When Arjun heard this, he vowed to kill Jayadratha, the leader of Chakravyuha. The next day, Arjun entered the Chakravyuha but was unable to reach Jayadratha until close to sunset. So Lord Krishna created an illusion by which the sun set and the Kauravas stopped fighting Arjun. "Arjun, don't lose this opportunity," Lord Krishna shouted. When Arjun beheaded Jayadratha, Lord Krishna removed his illusion and the Kaurav army was surprised to see that the sun was still up. Drona's death. Lord Krishna revealed a secret to the Pandavas to win against Drona. Drona has vowed that he would stop fighting if his only son Ashwatthama was killed. The following day, Bhim acted promptly according to Lord Krishna's plan. He killed an elephant with the name Ashwatthama. Then Yudhishthira informed Drona that Ashwatthama was dead without clarifying that it was not his son but an elephant. As soon as Drona dropped his weapons, Drishtadyumna, Draupadi's brother, beheaded him. On the other front of the battlefield, Bhim killed Dushasan to fulfill his vow for insulting Draupadi. Karna was the next commander-in-chief of the Kaurav army. Krishna advised Bhim to send for his half-demon son, Ghatotkach, for a surprise attack on the Kauravas. The magical powers of demons were said to be most effective at night. Ghatotkach played havoc with the Kaurav army, and it seemed as if he would single-handedly destroy the whole army. Karna's death. In desperation, Duryodhan asked Karna to stop Ghatotkach. Karna had to use the divine weapon given by Indra and killed Ghatotkach. Seeing this, Bhim said angrily, "Krishna, my son is dead and you are laughing?" Lord Krishna said, "From the day this war started, I have been keeping Arjun away from Karna. I am laughing because Arjun is safe now." Thus, Karna made himself vulnerable against Arjun. When Karna soon stood face to face with Arjun, his charioteer was suddenly killed and one of the wheels of the chariot broke down. Karna requested Arjun, "Stop fighting while my wheel is fixed. I am unarmed and it is unethical to attack me." However, Lord Krishna said, "Karna, this war is unethical in itself. It will be foolish of Arjun not to take this opportunity to kill you." Thus, Arjun killed Karna and the Kaurav army began to flee away from the battlefield. After Karna's death, Duryodhan went missing and the Kaurav army surrendered. Duryodhan's death. Duryodhan was finally found hiding inside a tank. Duryodhan could not have been beaten in a straight mace fight, but Bhim still challenged him. The great fight went on for many hours. Duryodhan's entire body except his pelvic area was protected with his mother's Gandhari's power. So Lord Krishna told Bhim to hit Duryodhan on his thigh in order to win. Hitting anyone below the navel was not allowed in a fair mace fight. However, Bhim took Lord Krishna's hint and thus fulfilled his vow of breaking Duryodhan's thighs to punish him for humiliating Draupadi during the unjust gambling incident. Seeking revenge for his father's death, Ashwathama entered the Pandav camp at night, killed all of the Draupadi's sons, mistaking them to be the 5 Pandav brothers. When the Pandavas returned, they were shocked. Now there was no one left to claim the throne of Hastinapur after the Pandavas, except the unborn baby of Abhimanyu. The great Mahabharata war had come to an end and the battleground was strewn with dead bodies. The war resulted in the death of all the 100 sons of King Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. When Lord Krishna visited Gandhari to offer his condolences, she cursed him in a fit of rage and sorrow. She said, "I worshipped you every day and expected you to protect my family. You could have easily averted this bloodshed and disaster. Now my 100 sons are dead." Seeing Krishna smile, Gandhari started shaking with anger. "You dare to smile after all of this? Just as the Kaurav dynasty has ended fighting with one another, similarly your Yadav dynasty would end fighting and killing one another after 36 years. She cursed. Once her anger was gone, Gandhari fell at Lord Krishna's feet and apologized. However, Lord Krishna happily accepted the curse. Still smiling, he walked away. The curse of the sages. After Yudhishthira was crowned as the king of Hastinapur, Lord Krishna went back to Dwarka. His clan, the Yadavas, lived in eternal happiness in Dwarka, so much so that they forgot good conduct, morals, and the importance of discipline and humility. Once when sage Vishwamitra and sage Narada came to visit Lord Krishna and Balram, they went beyond the restraints of respect for them. A few children of Lord Krishna dressed up Samba, son of Krishna and Jambavati, as an expecting woman and asked the visiting sages to foretell the gender of the child. The sages did not appreciate the sense of humor of the children. Feeling insulted, they cursed Samba. "You shall give birth to an iron rod, which in turn will be cause for the fall of Yadav dynasty." The very next day, Samba gave birth to an iron rod. When Balram heard about it, he got it powdered and had it thrown away in the ocean. The end of Yadava dynasty. Gandhari's curse started taking form. As a last resort to save his dynasty, Lord Krishna prohibited liquor in the city of Dwarka. In the 36th year after Mahabharata war, the Yadavs went on picnic and became drunk. There was a fight between Krishna's sons. Kritavarma and Satyaki. Soon, all the Yadavas took sides. They took out the stems of a seaweed which grew at the seashore and hit one another. Thus, all of them died. Only Lord Krishna, Balram, and Daruka, his charioteer, remained alive. The seaweed had grown out of the powder of the iron rod. It was washed up on the shore, and some of it took the form of an arrow. Deeply depressed, Balram went into a yogic trance and gave up his body. He turned into a huge white serpent and went into the sea. He was an incarnation of the great serpent Sheshnag, the bed of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna leaves for his heavenly abode. Lord Krishna was very sad and sat under a tree to meditate. A hunter passing by saw his yellow clothes and mistook him to be a deer. He shot an arrow made from the iron rod. The arrow entered the sole of Krishna's feet. Finally, Krishna left for his heavenly abode. Arjun came to Dwarka as it was Lord Krishna's wish that the Pandavas should take off the Yadav women and children. Arjun took them to Hastinapur. As soon as they left the sea engulfed Dwarka, some robbers attacked Arjun's party on the way. They took the women and wealth away. Arjun's powers of archery and the knowledge of weapons failed him. In despair, he went back to Yudhishthira and told him everything. After Lord Krishna had left, the Pandavas lost interest in the worldly matters. They crowned Arjun's grandson Parikshit, son of Abhimanyu, and left on a pilgrimage. When Lord Krishna left the earth, this marked the beginning of the Kali Yuga age.
Thanks for watching. Do like, share, subscribe to Sahil Book House.